Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss Unit 4 Organism and Environment, and today's topic of discussion is Organism and Population Part 2. Before I start the main content, I would like to inform that the images used in our slides are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of the original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. In this particular video lecture, we are mainly discussing about these points: ecology, interaction between environment and population, organisms respond to abiotic factors like regulator, conformer, partial regulator, migrants, suspend, adaptation of organisms at physiological level, morphological level, and behavioral level. So, ecology. What is ecology? First, quickly revise these things which we already have discussed in part 1. But again, a very quick revision. Ecology is the study of the relationship between living organisms, or we can say biotic factors, with abiotic factor or non-living things, right? So ecology is the study of the relationship of living organisms with the abiotic and biotic component. Biotic component means other species belong to their environment. So this is the correct definition. Ecology is the study of the relationship of living organisms with the abiotic factors and biotic components of their environment. Okay, and biological organization occur at different 4 levels: organism level organization, population level of organization, community level of organization, and at biome level of organization. There are certain abiotic factors which already we have discussed in previous lecture, like temperature, the most important one, followed by light, water, and soil. Okay, these are the most important physical factor of the environment to which the organisms are adapted in various ways. Okay, we had also discussed various examples. Okay, so and maintenance of a constant internal environment. This is the next point: maintenance of constant internal environment, which we can say homeostasis for the same. Okay, by an organism to contribute its optimum performance. Okay, and but this feature is not present in all the type of organisms. This is a particular feature available only in the mammals and birds. Okay, and all those animals which are able to maintain their constant environment are, we can use the term for the same, regulators for the same. Those and organisms are called regulators. They are able to maintain their constant internal environment or homeostasis. Okay, so these type of organisms are capable of homeostasis in face of changing any external environmental condition, whether extremely cold condition or extremely hot condition, they are able to survive. Okay, a very few other species have evolved adaptations to avoid unfavorable conditions, who are not able to maintain their constant internal environment. So how they adapt themselves to avoid unfavorable condition? They either migrate from that area or went into a sleep conditions, which we can say summer sleep condition, estivation, or winter sleep condition, hibernation, or diapause. In diapause in insects only. Insects, they actually slow down their metabolic rate through their metamorphosis stage, conversion of from larval stage to mature one. So that type of hibernation or slow metabolic activities is known as diapause for the same. Okay, so this is true for all those species who are not able to maintain their internal body temperature. So to avoid unfavorable condition, they follow different pathway for their survival purpose. Okay, clear? Now let's understand one by one response of organism for various abiotic factors. Okay, so first term is regulate. So some organisms are able to maintain homeostasis by physiological means, which ensure constant body temperature, and constant osmotic concentration as well. Okay, so some organisms are able to maintain homeostasis for their constant, which are able to constant their body temperature, are able to constant their osmotic concentration. So in this category, all birds and mammals come. Okay, and very few lower vertebrates and invertebrates species are indeed capable of such regulators, and there is a term used for those type of animal, that is thermoregulators or osmoregulators, or thermoregulation and osmoregulation process occur in their body. They are able to maintain their constant body temperature and constant osmotic concentration. Okay, and because of this, some evolutionary biologists believe that success of mammals, what is the reason of success of mammals, is largely due to their ability to maintain a constant body temperature and thrive where they live in, whether they live in Atlantica or in Sahara Desert. They are able to adapt, they are able to survive in extreme conditions also. Why? Because their body temperature will not affect because of the outer environmental condition. Whatever condition is there, very high in temperature or very low in temperature, their body temperature is remains same, that is 37 degrees centigrade. Okay, so that's why certain evolutionary biologists believe that this is the main cause of the success of mammals out of so much classes and so much kingdoms. Now, so this mechanism, thermoregulation and osmotic regulation, which is used by most mammals to regulate their body temperature, are similar to one that which is present in we are also comes under mammals category, human, and we are able to maintain our body temperature 37 degrees centigrade. Okay, so in summer, when temperature is above 50 degree or 45, we can say 40-45 outside, more than our body temperature, and that time we sweat profusely. Why? Because of the sweating. What will happen? Because of the sweating, water evaporate because of the high heat, and evaporation cool down our body. So this is how we can maintain our body temperature. Similarly, it is written over here, the resulting evaporation cooling. Okay, similar to what happened in the desert. In desert, cooler is in operation, bring down the body temperature. Similarly, in winters also, when temperature outside is much lower than 37 degrees centigrade, 10 degree, 4 degree, sometimes zero in Western countries, and that time our body is very quickly regulate our body temperature. How? Because of shivering. We start shivering, and because of shivering, a kind of mechanical reaction. Because of this shivering, very quickly our body generate heat, and this heat will give rise our body temperature. So these type of mechanism is already present in our body. This is how we can regulate our body temperature, or we constantly maintain our body temperature at 37 degrees centigrade. Okay, on the other hand, these plants are not able to adapt or maintain their body temperature, do not have such mechanism to maintain their internal temperature. So they follow some kind of adaptation during various type of extreme conditions. Okay, they just avoid their growth, they just avoid their pollination or other important aspect of their life cycle. So let's discuss the response of abiotic factors, response of an organism for abiotic factor, mainly temperature. Okay, so all those organisms should try to maintain their constant internal environment, which we can use the term homeostasis for the same. But all kind of organisms, if external, this is on x-axis, external level of temperature is there, and on y-axis they have given internal level of temperature. Okay, so this is a diagrammatic representation of organismic response. So whether temperature is 10, our body temperature is same at this level. Okay, means if this is 10, 20, 30, or this is 40, so this is about 37. Okay, so if temperature this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and so on, temperature outside 10, our body temperature 37, temperature outside 30, our temperature same 37, temperature outside 50, constant temperature, temperature outside 70, same, there is no change in our internal body temperature. So all those organisms who are able to maintain their constant body temperature, they are not fluctuate their body temperature, they are known as regulators. This red line is for the regulators, and all the birds and mammals comes under this category. Okay, but some animals are comes under conformers, means if temperature outside is 10, now you can understand 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, temperature rise, internal body temperature rise. Again temperature rise, again internal body temperature rise. And if temperature extremely rise, outside temperature is very high, then their internal body temperature also get very high. Outside temperature again increase, internal body temperature also get in. Means what this graph tells us, all those animals whose internal body temperature change according to the weather condition, weather temperature, all those animals comes under conformer types. Okay. Now the third graph, some animals comes under partial regulators, means up to a certain limit, their body temperature increase according to the external environment. If external body temperature like increase, their internal body temperature also get increase up to a specific time, like at this point. But after a limit, they are not able to again increase their body temperature according to the environment. That time they just, stop increasing their internal body temperature, and that time they just adapt themselves for the changed environment, like lizard. Okay, like lizard, up to a certain limit they can change their body temperature according to the environment. Means if environmental temperature increase from 20 degree to 40 degree or so on, or so they up to a certain limit they also increase their body temperature, but after 40 degree they just try to hide themselves in a cool environment. Now after a limit they are not able to again rise their temperature according to the external environment condition. Okay, or if extreme cold is there, they initially cold condition, they slow down their body temperature, but after a certain limit they start searching sunlight for sun basking to increase their body temperature for their survival. So this is how we can classify different type of animal into different category. Those are able to regulate their temperature or maintain their homeostasis or maintain their internal body temperature comes under regulators. Those are not able to maintain their body temperature and change their body temperature according to the environment comes under conformers. Those are able to maintain change their body temperature up to a certain limit, and after that they are not able to increase their body temperature and change itself in regulatory path, regulators, or search out a condition to maintain their body temperature. They comes under regulator, partial regulator. Clear? So this is a very important graph. Sometime question asked based on this graph. Already I have told you most of the things related to this graph, but let's read out all the important points. Conformer means 99% animals are and nearly all plant animal cannot maintain a constant internal environment. Their body temperature change with the ambient temperature. An aquatic animal, osmotic concentration of the body fluid change with the ambient water osmotic concentration. These animals and plants are simply conformers. Clear? Now thermoregulators. Thermoregulators are all those animals which are able to maintain their internal body temperature, and this is a energetically expensive for some organisms like heat, like shrew and hummingbird. All those animal whose surface area is more but body size is less. So heat loss is and heat gain is occur because of the surface area. So this small animal have large surface area relative to their volume. So they tend to lose body heat very fast when it's cold conditions outside. Then they have to expend much energy to generate body heat through the metabolism. Clear? And this is the main reason why small animals are rarely found in polar region. Small animals are rarely found in polar region because very quickly they lose their body heat. Second thing, migrate. The organisms can move temporarily from the stressful habitat to a more hospitable area and return where when the stressful period is over. In human, all of us like to move from Delhi to Shimla. All those who are living in Delhi like to move to Shimla or Kullu Manali during summertime. Okay. Similarly, many animals, particularly birds, during winter season undertake long distance migration to a comparatively hospitable area. Like in every winter, the famous Kionardo National Park, which is situated in the Bharatpur, Rajasthan, has host thousands of migratory birds which comes from the Siberia crane, which comes from the Siberia, which is an extremely cold environment. Okay. Next is suspend in bacteria, fungus, and lower plants. In bacteria, fungi, and lower plants, various kind of thick-walled spores are formed, which help them to survive under unfavorable conditions. These germinate on availability of suitable environments. So they suspend their life processes. How? They just give a thick walled over a spore, okay, to survive in unfavorable condition. As a favorable condition will come, they very quickly start germinating. So this is the adaptation for bacteria, fungi and lower plants. For higher plants, seeds and some other vegetative reproductive structures serve as a mean to tie over a period of stress. Besides helping in dispersion, they germinate to form a new plant under only favorable condition, favorable moisture content, favorable temperature conditions. Okay, so they do so by reducing their metabolic activity and going into a state known as dormancy in higher plants. In animals also, The organism, if unable to migrate, if they are not able to migrate, then how they adapt themselves? They avoid the stress by escaping in time. The familiar case of bear going in the hibernation process during winter, which is an example of escape of time. Some snail and some fishes go in estivation to avoid summer sleep, which is known as estivation is summer sleep, to avoid summer related problem like heat, desiccation, etc. And under unfavorable conditions, some zooplanktons are also, which are found in the lake and pond, are known to enter in diapause, which is already I told you it is a stage of suspended development. All the developmental stage is getting suspended during diapause stage. Now adaptations. Adaptation is any attribute of the organism. It may be at morphological level or physiological level or behavioral level that enable organisms to survive and reproduce in its habitat. Okay, many adaptations have evolved over a long evolutionary time and are genetically fixed. In the absence of external source water, this kangaroo rat, which is normally found in the North America desert. Desert means very less water is there, right? So it is a host animal, main animal, which is present, main mammal, which is present in North America desert, is capable of meeting its all water requirement through its internal fat oxidation process. As water is not available in desert, so to complete its water requirement for its metabolic activity, it produce water inside its body only through beta oxidation of fat, through internal fat oxidation, in which water is a byproduct, and further this byproduct is utilized by other metabolic reaction in its body, this kangaroo rat. So kangaroo rat adapt itself like this in the absence of water. Okay, it has also ability and first adaptation this, and another adaptation to consume or do not waste water. Another condition, it also has the ability to concentrate its urine so that minimum volume of water is used to remove as a excretory product. Okay, so its urine is highly acidic. Very less amount of water is present in its urine. So this is how, by utilizing its own metabolic pathway, internal fat oxidation, it the body water requirement is body water requirement for this kangaroo rat is utilize this byproduct water, and concentration of urine is another adaptation. Morphological adaptation. For morphological adaptation, so many desert plants have thick cuticle on their leaf surface and their stomata arranged in a very deep pit to minimize their water loss through transpiration. They have in all the plants which are normally grown in this particular desert area, they have a special photosynthetic pathway known as CAM pathway that enable their stomata remain closed during daytime. They just open their stomata during nighttime where no heat is there. So minimum water loss is there. Okay. So to reduce their water loss during daytime, they just close their stomata during daytime. This is another adaptation, morphological adaptation. Another one more adaptation which has been seen in Aponcia. In this particular plant, plant is not having leaf. They convert their leaf into spine to reduce their water loss. Okay, and these are photosynthetically function. For photosynthesis purpose, as leaves are converted into the spine, their stem are fleshy and flattened, and contain chlorophyll for photosynthesis purpose. Okay, so these are the changes, these are the adaptation, which are some example we have discussed over here. Adaptation of the desert plant. Similarly, some mammals also adapted themselves for colder climate, as all the mammals which are mainly found in colder environment, they have short ear and limbs to minimize their heat loss. Like polar bear, they have very short ear and limbs, nose also. Okay, and this is called Allen rule. This is called Allen rule, means mammals which are found in colder environment generally have shorter ear and limbs to minimize their heat loss. In polar sea, aquatic and mammals like seal have thick layer of fat, blubber, which is known as blubber, which is found below their skin, that act as an insulator to reduce their loss of body heat, because these are also found in the extremely cold water conditions. So to reduce their body heat, they have a thick layer of fat which is just present just beneath the skin. Now let's discuss physiological adaptation. Okay, physiological adaptation allow organisms to respond quickly to a stressful situation. If you had been at a high altitude place, means mountains like Rohtang Pass, like Kullu Manali, like Srinagar, Kashmir, or Kailash Mansarovar, or in China occupied Tibet, you must experience altitude sickness. What is this altitude sickness? This altitude sickness means a kind of symptoms that person feel like nausea, fatigue, heart palpitation. This is because of low atmospheric pressure of high altitude. At that much high altitude, oxygen concentration is very less. Okay, so body does not get enough oxygen. Okay, so but gradually after 1, 2, or 3 days, our body get acclimatized and stop experiencing these type of symptoms, because very quickly our body very quickly develop more RBCs, red blood cells, and so oxygen availability is less, but number of RBC is more. So very quickly they can overcome this problem. Okay, so body compensate low oxygen availability by increasing RBC production and decreasing the binding affinity of hemoglobin, and by increasing heart rate also. Not heart rate, breathing rate. So very quickly we can, inhale oxygen, and that oxygen combined with the hemoglobin and fulfill our body oxygen requirement. So after this altitude sickness in most animals also, another example, most animals, the metabolic reaction and hence all the physiological function proceed optimally in narrow temperature, that is 37 degree. Okay, but there are certain microbes like archaebacteria that are mainly found in the hot springs, and some archaebacteria which are found in the deep sea, hydrothermal vent, where temperature is far exceeding 100 degrees centigrade. So they adapt themselves for that particular temperature. Okay. Similarly, certain kind of fish which are found in the Atlantica region, where temperature is below zero, they adapt themselves for that particular reason. Some marine invertebrates, some fishes which live at a great depth in the ocean, where temperature, where pressure is could be more than 100 times than the normal atmospheric pressure. That type of fishes and invertebrates adapt themselves according to change their physiological metabolic reactions. Okay, so they have adapted themselves to change in their biochemical adaptation. Okay, the third one, last type of adaptation is known as behavioral adaptation, in which some organisms show behavioral changes just to cope up with the variation of the environment, like this desert lizard. This already I have discussed with you in partial regulator type. This desert lizard lack the physiological ability that mammal have to deal with the high temperature, because mammals are homeothermic. They maintain their internal body temperature, but this desert lizard is not able. These are comes under reptile category. Okay, so up to a certain limit, they can increase their temperature if according to the external temperature, but after a certain time, very quickly, if temperature again rise, they just avoid that particular area and move into comparatively shady area to cool down their body. Similarly, if temperature is very low, they start sunbasking to absorb heat. Up to a certain time, they lower down their body temperature, but after a limit, they start sunbasking to absorb heat when their body temperature drop below the comfort zone. Okay. Similarly, move into the shade when their ambient temperature start increasing. Okay, so they comes under partial regulator category. Some species are capable of burrowing in the soil to hide themselves and escape from the above ground heat conditions. Okay, so these are comes under behavioral adaptation. So this is all about the other type of adaptation, regulations, regulator, converter, and response of organisms according to abiotic factors. I hope most of the things has been cleared now. If you have any query, any doubt related to today's video lecture, please let me know. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care, bye bye, and keep learning. Namaskar.